Let's go. Welcome in YouTube. As I get the Instagram live set up as usual, here we are. Perfect. What's up, everybody? Let some people join in first before I get into this introduction. What's up? What's up? Welcome back, everybody, to another weekly episode of Insider Betting, where we go over and break down the UFC card for the upcoming weekend. This weekend, UFC Abu Dhabi, Robert Whittaker versus Reinier. It's an early one, so wake up for this card because the prelims start at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm excited for it. There's some banger fights. It's like they're starting to stack these Abu Dhabi cards with a lot of good fights. Starting off with
money, baby.
Starting off with feature prelim or on this card, Bryce Mitchell getting an opportunity to face off against Said Nurmagomedov. This one should be good. How are we feeling at Bryce Mitchell moving down from featherweight, hopping into the bantamweight division, making his debut in a new division? How do we think this one's going to play out, bro?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Bryce making his bantamweight debut. Bit of an interesting move, but it makes sense. I don't think he was like that small for the featherweight division, but I don't think he's going to be like too big for the bantamweight. It'll be interesting. He's coming off of a loss where he kind of got it handed to him against Gene Silva. He just like dominated him the entire fight. It felt like Bryce didn't know what to do. He was slowing down, and then to rub it in a little bit, Gene Silva decided to beat him in his own game and made him tap, which was unexpected at all. We all know Bryce. He's one-dimensional. He can only grapple. If he's not submitting you, he's probably not going to win. He does have a few decision wins in there. He's been in pretty bad form recently. He's only 2 in his last 5. He's only beaten Kron Gracie, Dan Ige, and Edson Barbosa. He's lost to Gene Silva. He got flatlined by Josh Emmett. So that was, interesting few fights for him. Said Nurmagomedov, you'd assume he's a grappler. Not a grappler. A bit of a flashy striker. His record is kind of all over the place. He's got 4 knockouts, 6 submissions, and 8 decisions. Those 6 submissions, a lot of them tend to be Gillies. So you can definitely watch out for that. I hate to say it because I'm a certified Bryce Mitchell hater. I'd love to see Bryce lose. I hope Bryce loses. I don't think he's going to lose. I think we're going to see Bryce get back in the win column here. But Said's game plan is easy. Avoid the takedowns. He's got 62% takedown defense. Bryce only has a 36% takedown accuracy. Don't take the fight to the ground. Don't jump the gilly. And just keep it on the feet and go about it that way. So, yeah, interesting fight. But, yeah, I got Bryce winning this one. I think it's going to be close, but the odds kind of reflect that.
Yeah, I like Bryce making the move down a division. He was talking about that Gene Silva loss. He said that he just didn't feel good in there. He didn't feel as strong as Gene Silva, and Gene Silva was literally ragdolling him in that matchup. So he wanted to move down. He's going to be a bigger kind of bantamweight, which is good for him. I think he's going to have more power against Said Nurmagomedov. But as you mentioned, Said is a good striker, but he also does have some good guillotines. I could see him attacking something on the neck if Bryce is shooting constantly. But hopefully, I'd expect Bryce Mitchell to be prepared for that. I hope this one stays on the feet. I think Bryce Mitchell's going to get it done. I also am a Bryce Mitchell hater. He's a very interesting creature. The lead up in this fight, it seems like he's having a very interesting time in Abu Dhabi currently. He had this whole exchange where he was in the locker room, in the change room, naked, and he said he had to mention that it was cold because his wiener was shriveled up and the guys were all going to beat him up and he was scared for his life. I think he's going to use that scared aggression against Said Nurmagomedov. He's getting memed all over the internet right now for his media day. It's just hilarious that every fight week leading up to a Bryce Mitchell fight, the clips that we get to see and hear the virality of Bryce Mitchell, I love it. I'd also like to see him lose. I don't think he's going to lose. Said Nurmagomedov had a close decision win over Vinicius Oliveira, but I don't think too highly of Vinicius Oliveira anymore after his recent fight with Kyler Phillips last week. So give me Bryce Mitchell here, bounce back. He's off that loss to Gene Silva, and he'll probably climb the rankings here in the bantamweight division. There's going to be some good matchups with for him. Even if Marcus McGee loses next to Peter Yan on this card, that could be a good fight for him next as well.
Yeah, we got a couple chats in the IG. We got someone said Bryce Mitchell by finishing White Mustache Man. MMA Finkster said, who you got in the main event? You're going to have to stay tuned in for that one. We'll reveal it at the end. And then MMA Finkster also said, what odds kind of reflect that? It's literally a flip. I think it's a flip. I think you're right. Like, I think I said the odds reflect that because I think it's going to be a close fight. I think both fighters have a way to win here. I think it's going to be interesting to see Bryce cutting that extra 10 pounds. See how strong he comes. He might come a little drained. So, yeah, it should be a good fight. But
I think Bryce is going to have more control time in this fight. Even if he's not landing the more strikes on the feet, he's going to be able to control this fight. And I think that control, that power, the strength of Bryce Mitchell is what's going to carry him to a decision win here.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Nikita Krylov taking on Bogdan Guskov in the opening up the main card. Should be another pretty good fight. Two heavy hitters. You can definitely kind of expect a KO. Nikita Krylov got knocked out in his last fight. I think you had him beating Dominic Reyes. I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I unlike last week where I went 0-5, I had that fight right. I did think Dom was going to beat Nikita Krylov. He was coming off of a 2-year layoff. I don't love that he's the favorite going into this fight. Guskov is on a 3-5 win streak. He's got a ton of power. He's got 12 knockouts in his 30 wins. I was reading Nikita Krylov there. He's got 14 knockouts and 17 wins. Krylov, he's more well-rounded. He can take to the ground if he wants to, and he can dominate on the ground if he wants to. But he's coming off of a KO loss. He had a 2-year layoff before that. And he could be a little chinny. I don't know. I feel like Nikita could get it done, but I got Guskov. I got the underdog win here. I think there's real KO potential, and I think Guskov is going to continue his win streak. I don't think Nikita is who he used to be. And, that's kind of the breakdown I got there. Guskov by KO.
I love it. There's no way you just deflected going 0-5 last week by mentioning you got Nikita Krylov over Dominic Reyes at UFC 314. Amazing deflection there. I went 3-5 last week. I didn't think Pitbull was going to have the performance that he did. I thought Kevin Holland was going to win that fight against D-Rod. If those fights flipped, I would have went 5 for 5. So I was pretty confident with my picks last week. But this one, I also am feeling confident in. I took Nikita Krylov in his last fight against Dominic Reyes simply off the fact 2 years layoff. I thought he would be in his bag. I thought he would be prepared for his return and have a good moment. He's fought some good guys in his past. He didn't live up to where I thought he would be. And I don't like that he's taking this fight. He just got knocked out, and he's right back in there taking a fight against somebody who has heavy hands, who's coming off 3 finishes in a row, I believe. So it's not a great situation for Nikita Krylov to be taking this one as fast as he's getting back in there. So I am going to lean towards Bogdan Guskov, and I think he's going to knock him out. I think he's going to do it early. Could be a first rounder again, and we're not going to see Nikita Krylov in the rankings for much longer, unfortunately. I first read this fight as Nikita Krylov just simply off the odds. Don't look at the odds. Really take in the factor of he just got knocked out against Dominic Reyes. He's coming back. He's probably going to get knocked out again. Let's just be completely real. He's not going to shift up his game too much. He's not going to mix in any takedowns here. It's going to be standing on the feet this fight. Bogdan, he's more technical. He's going to be throwing the harder strikes. He's going to walk him down in this one.
Yeah, I actually did, until you brought it up, I didn't even realize how quickly he's making this turnaround. That makes no sense. He got knocked out by Dom in April.
it doesn't even make sense that he's coming back. Like whoever's his coach and booked him this fight does not make sense. And how is he a favorite? Take the underdog here, and I love KO. I love by finish.
Yeah, this fight kind of feels like easy money. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Next up, we got Asu Almabayev taking on Jose Ochoa. Almabayev was supposed to fight someone else. I looked it up. His name was too hard to pronounce, and I didn't recognize him, so I didn't even fucking bother.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but Jose Ochoa stepping up at short notice. Almabayev was 4-0 in the UFC before losing his last fight to Manel Kape. And then we got Jose, who is 1-1 in the UFC, but a lot of people are really excited for him because he's a flyweight with knockout power. He's only 8-1 as a professional, but 7 of those fights have been by knockout, or 7 of those 8 wins have been by knockout. This fight's going to go, there's literally only 2 ways this fight can go. It's either going to be a hug fest or Asu Almabayev is getting knocked out. Like, that's the only way I see it going. There is a little bit of submission potential there. Obviously, Jose doesn't really have too much of a ground game. I do think that just based on UFC experience and the fact that it's a short notice fight for Jose Ochoa, that's enough for me to pick Asu to win. But this could be an exciting underdog win with Jose getting into the top 15. I would love to see it happen. More knockouts, the merrier. I would hate to see a hug fest because we see too much of that in the flyweight division already. It would bring up a new prospect who could potentially, challenge Pantoja eventually, even though no one's really challenged Pantoja. But yeah, I got Asu Almabayev to win here, unfortunately, and I think it's going to be probably the most boring fight of the main card.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the guy who was originally supposed to take this fight, I'm horrible with names, so I probably shouldn't try. I'm going to butcher it. It's Ramazan Temirov. He was busted for PEDs, and I think his win against Charles Johnson in his last fight was overturned because of the PEDs, and then he was canceled out of this fight. So it got replaced. Jose Ochoa, Asu Almabayev. I like this fight. This is a tall, big guy, rangy guy, Jose Ochoa. For flyweight, you would think 5'7" isn't a big guy, but for flyweight, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big advantage to have a 3 inches on your opponent. And yeah, I hope this isn't a snooze fest. I like Asu in his last fight. He kind of got robbed. He got those eye pokes. They gave it to Manel Kape knockout. He was running away. But I did think he was good on his takedown attempts. I think he's going to shoot a lot in this one as well. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Takedown defense is 66%. He's a taller guy. He might be harder to take down, but I do think Azu's so persistent in it. He's going to land the takedown and land that control time that could land him a decision win here, even if he doesn't find the submissions. I like this fight. I hope it's exciting. It could be a snooze fest where Azu's just shooting takedowns and constantly hugging onto Jose. But yeah, if Jose gets a knockout, that would be pretty sweet. He's 24 years old. It would be dope to see somebody new coming up into a division. I'm always rooting for that. But Azu's he's pretty solidified, I'd say. And if he got that win over Manel Kape, he would have been in a title shot contention. So this is kind of just a prove us spot. If you don't know now, you know kind of spot for Azu. I think he's going to get this one done. I'm leaning towards Azu to win by decision here.
Yeah, I'm surprised how close the odds are too. Like it's pretty 50-50. And I think Jose Ochoa opened up as the favorite when this fight was announced, which is interesting. It's weird for these tall guys because technically all he's got to do is – sorry, 1 second here. All he's got to do is keep a wide stance and not let him wrap around, right? Yes. But being the shorter guy, getting in underneath and wrapping around is a little bit easier. So you should see a few takedowns considering he averages 4 a fight.
I think that's the story of this one. A lot of takedowns from Azu where Jose is going to be looking for that knockout strike.
Yeah, he's got to get the knockout early. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough fight for him.
Yeah.
Feature fight of the night, we have Shar Bullet taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Charbot is coming back after a loss to MVP. A little bit surprising. At the same time, not that surprising. I think we might have both predicted an MVP win. It just felt like a pretty big step up for Charbot at the time. And that was proved right. He was always kind of sold to us as a knockout artist, or like a flashy knockout artist. And time and time again, he's kind of disappointed us in the UFC. He does have that flashy kind of like spinning back fist against Armen Petrosyan with the knockout that made a few highlight reels. But if you watch that whole fight, it was pretty boring. He wasn't really landing. He should have dominated Armen Petrosyan. I think Petrosyan was on a short notice that fight as well. And it was like a way closer fight than it should have been. And then he got the knockout in the end. Marc-Andre Barriault, he's coming off of a knockout win against Bruno Silva. Before that, he was on a 3-fight losing streak and a 2-fight getting knocked out streak. So you felt like he could have been a little bit chinny against Bruno Silva. Not the case. I don't think Bruno Silva is the same type of striker as Charbot is. So I do think that Charbot is a heavy favorite for a reason. I will not touch this fight with a 10-foot pole because of the odds. Like, there's no point of betting on this one, but Charbot should win. I do think this got decision potential on it. I don't know if he's going to get the knockout because I think Marc-Andre Barriault, he's a tough guy who although he's been knocked out a lot, I think he is tough to knock out. And unless Charbot's all over him, it'll be tough to get that one-punch knockout. What's it called? I literally lost my train of thought mid-sentence. But no, I think Charbot is going to piece him up a little bit, and it could go to decision. It could end by knockout, but I do think Charbot should win this fight. It's his fight to lose. And Marc-Andre Barriault, I guess he's young. He looks older than he is, but it feels like retirement is soon. As much as I hate
he did just recently sign a new 3-fight contract, this being the first on it. Unfortunate first fight for him. He's kind of in a setup spot here in Abu Dhabi. This is where Shara gets his shine because he's not always commissioned to be able to fight in America. So this is a setup fight for Shara to put on a show. He got frustrated against MVP. That's a frustrating fighter to go against. He lost a decision in that one to MVP. We both picked MVP. He's a frustrating fighter. He was able to control the range, blitz him whenever he wants. But Marc-Andre Barriault, I love him. He's Canadian. He's not going to be able to cut distance the way that MVP was. Shara's going to be walking him down. Marc-Andre is just going to be standing there. He fights very coming at you one straight way. He's not really the fighter who's going to cut off angles, pick you apart, counter strike you. He's going to try and walk down Shara, but that's just not going to work. Shara's going to control the middle of the octagon. I see this one being a knockout spot for Shara Magomedov. It's been a long time since his last fight, and I also think he might utilize some wrestling. He's a lot smarter and a lot better of a fighter than we give him credit to be. That's why I see these odds continuing to spread. I think Marc-Andre is a plus 500 underdog now. I saw him in open workouts. He's doing some wrestling. He's shooting some takedowns. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows off his full MMA bag in this fight. Marc-Andre Barriault is a good person to show off your skills against. I think this one's going to be a good performance bonus for Shara Magomedov.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Co-main event, we got Petr Yan taking on Marcus McGee. The first big challenge for Marcus McGee. He's 4-0 in the UFC. He's beaten Jonathan Martinez, and then everyone else is kind of a nobody. But Jonathan Martinez is a good win for him, so I'll give him that. I'm a bit surprised at the odds. I'm surprised Petr Yan is such a heavy favorite. I mean, when you look at their resumes, it makes sense, but I think Marcus McGee is a much better fighter than he's getting credit for here. I think it'll be a close one. I think we might see Petr Yan feel it out in the first round and then just try to kind of outbox Marcus McGee. But I don't know. I want to go with McGee. I feel like we're going to see an underdog win here, but I'm not confident enough to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm just going to say Petr Yan's going to win, but McGee's got he's got a lot of potential here. A lot of potential. He hits, he lands way more than he gets hit, unlike Petr Yan. He's good on the stand up. He's pretty decent in the on the ground as well. But I do think there is knockout potential in this fight, or we're going to see it go to decision.
This fight kind of is out of nowhere. Like Marcus McGee isn't this surging prospect of like a Sean O'Malley or something like that. He's a 35-year-old guy who's really good at what he does. And he's getting a shot from the bottom of the rankings to fight a guy at the top of the rankings. He even said in an interview recently that he knows this fight isn't going to be a number one contender fight for him. Like he'll still have to fight other fights to get to the title. But for Peter Yan, he's been at the top for so long now. He could be next to fight Merab at any moment. So if he has a good performance against Marcus McGee, he could be next in line for that title. I don't think he has to fight like an Umar Nurmagomedov next. This fight is 3 rounds, which is scary for me that the odds are this spread, because we've seen an upset in Abu Dhabi with Sean O'Malley, who was 11th ranked, to Peter Yan, who was number 1 ranked just a few years ago. 3 rounds in Abu Dhabi, and Sean O'Malley was able to take that spot over Peter Yan, beat him, and then go fight Aljamain Sterling, knock him out, and win the title. That's not going to be the storybook for Marcus McGee, but it is a good spot for him. And we've seen Peter Yan lose in this spot before by a close decision. I see this one going to decision. It's going to be close, but I am leaning Yan. Jan's looked good. He continues to fight his fights. He beat up Davidson Figueiredo. He beats up guys. I think he's going to be aware that he lost his last time in Abu Dhabi against Sean O'Malley, against the guy who was lower ranked than him, and want a redemption against that. Knock out this guy. Come at him, full pace, full strength from the start of the bell to the last. And I see Peter Yan probably getting a finish in this one. Even though Marcus McGee is as skillful as he is, I'm not sure how durable he's going to be against these top guys. So Peter Yan, knockout, possibly performance bonus as well. That sets him up to fight Merab Dvalishvili next.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. But the more you look at it, the more it kind of makes sense. Wasn't Merab just announced to fight Corey?
Yes.
Am I tripping? Or I saw that, right? Yeah. So Merab's fighting Corey. You would assume that the fight that would have made sense is Peter Yan versus Umar Nurmagomedov, but it looks like they might be saving it to do Umar versus O'Malley, since O'Malley just lost to Merab again. And then when you look at the rest of the rankings, besides Marcus McGee, you have Song Yadong, Figgy, Cheeto, Mario Bautista, Rob Font, Henry Cejudo, Eamon Zahabi, and then you got Marcus McGee. Out of all those guys, Marcus McGee is the most like he's on a win streak. He's exciting. It makes sense in a way when you like kind of break it down that way, but it is a weird fight to make. But
I almost think Rob Font, Cheeto, these guys almost deserve it more than Marcus McGee. But like Marcus McGee isn't coming off of a crazy knockout or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird spot. He's not a young guy. He's an older guy. He's not like this crazy marketable guy that could go win the title and sell a bunch of pay-per-views. Neither is Peter Yan. Neither is a Rob Font. But there's other guys in the division, as you mentioned, like Cheeto Vera versus Peter Yan, 3 rounds. That's an exciting fight.
I know, but what's Cheeto done recently?
That's true. He's just been sitting around, tubbing.
Yeah, like the only one who's probably on a bigger win streak. I don't remember Mario Bautista's most recent fights, but I think he's still on a win streak.
That could be a good fight too.
I know, but nobody likes watching him. Right. And maybe I got some bias because I know Marcus has been a good friend of the show. And we've done a couple interviews with him. I think we interviewed him outside of one of his fights back a few fights ago as well. So maybe I got some bias there, but I don't know. I think it's a fun fight. It's weird for Peter Yan to accept this one, but I'm
not sure McGee's ever fought in Abu Dhabi as well. Like, this is a huge opportunity for him. The lights will be shining extra bright. He's going to give everything. I see him winning the first round, but I see Peter winning the second and third round, winning a decision. And that first round is going to be close, but I think Marcus McGee will have the bigger moments, have the moment. But Peter Yan, he's smart, he's sharp, too fast, too sharp, too powerful. That's how I see it going.
I feel you.
He's in on my parlay. So.
Yeah. Is he? That's
yeah,
fair.
Peter Yan, yeah.
Yeah. Robert Whittaker taking on Reinier de Ridder, RDR. Whittaker is coming off of a big loss to Hamzat Chimaev, where he got his face literally snapped. I don't think we can pull it up and show you guys, but he got his jaw snapped, which he kind of played off as it's happened before. Doesn't concern me too much. It's the worst injury I think I've ever seen in the UFC. I don't know. Like that was, I didn't even know that was humanly possible to snap someone's jaw like that. Pretty insane fight. RDR though, he's been fucking rocking. Might be one of the more, like, besides Kayla Harrison, might be the most exciting fighter that, not exciting, that's the wrong word to use because he's not an exciting fighter, but he's been the most successful fighter outside of Kayla Harrison to come out of these like random leagues, you know?
True.
He's 3-0 in the UFC. He won his debut against Joe Mearshart, then he beat Kevin Holland, and then he beat Bo Nickel, which not a lot of people expected. I think Bo was a pretty heavy favorite going into that fight, but he stood his ground. He saw he was better on the ground, and then he got the win. Interesting fight. I think Robert Whittaker, he's been a champion. He's beaten a lot of good guys. When you look at their resumes, he's obviously better on paper. I think RDR is pretty one-dimensional. The striking is not really there. The ground game obviously is, with 13 submission wins and his 20 wins overall. But I think Whittaker is on his way out. I don't know. I haven't been hot on Whittaker. I think coming off of such a big injury, it might be a problem, especially if the fight goes to the ground. Who the fuck knows? Could it get re-snapped? Probably not, but maybe. I'm not a fucking doctor. And yeah, and RDR has just been so hot. So I got RDR winning, which I've been proven wrong before. I think I picked Ikram Aliskerov to beat Whittaker back when that happened. I was proven very, very wrong. So Whittaker might still have it in him, but I think RDR is the better pick here. I got the underdog again. A lot of underdog picks on this card, which was not the mode I took last week, where I picked all favorites, and then the one underdog I picked ended up losing, and all the other favorites lost. So I hope this week we see some underdog wins, but we don't usually see that back to back. I feel like usually if there's a big underdog fight card, the next one's a lot of heavy favorites winning, but hope I don't go 0-5 again.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I have a lot of favorites winning this card. On this card, I have I guess I took Tabitha Ritchie as an underdog, but I have Damon Blackshear, Carlos Leo, Bryce Mitchell. Oh, Bogdan's a good underdog. I have Peter Yan, Oban Aslan. I have a lot of favorites on this one.
I got no, like in my picks, I picked a lot of favorites too. Like I'm picking Yan, I'm picking Shara Bullet. I ended up picking Asu, which like he's a favorite, but I could see it going either way in a sense.
Yeah.
The only real underdog I have is RDR and Bogdan. But even like the Bryce Mitchell fight, like Saeed's got a way to win, you know, like there could definitely be some underdog potential there. So you're right. I'm 4 favorites, 2 underdogs, but
no, that's not bad at all. I like it.
Yeah.
Reinier de Ritter, I've bet against all 3 of his fights in the UFC. I'm not a hater necessarily. I just didn't think he would live up to any of the hype coming from another promotion into the UFC. We usually see these guys fold. You mentioned Robert Whittaker's performance against Ikram Aliskerov. Great first round knockout. That's what I originally saw the line on this fight, and I was like, oh, he might get RDR in the first round. Oh, he might do it. Like, I get fooled every single fight betting against RDR. We have recently seen the vets kind of hold their spots with like Kamaru Usman, Alex Volkanovski. These guys are holding down their spots against these up-and-comer guys. But I think RDR is a little different here. I think he does have a significant ground advantage. I think he can get this fight to the ground. I think Robert Whittaker will get instantly frustrated after he gets a shot landed on him in the first round, and that continues to be the narrative of the story moving forward. I think RDR is going to do it. I think he could even win by a submission finish here. If I were to bet this one, which I'm not, I'd probably lean RDR by finish. I'm not also sure on Robert Whittaker's health situation. I know he's also had some hematomas and stuff, just like random stuff, and his teeth and everything. He says he's 100%. He's always going to give off. He's a company man that he's 100% ready to go. I'm just not confident in him. I'd probably lean towards RDR by submission here. I hope it's exciting, but this could be kind of like an Azu Jose fight where Robert's just looking for the knockout and RDR is just consistent on his sticking to his game plan, shooting for takedowns and looking for a submission. So I think that's going to be his game plan. I think he's going to execute, and I think he's going to win by finish.
So you got RDR?
Underdog, baby.
Respect. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's my first time picking RDR too.
Yeah, bro. Bobby Knuckles is just he's unreliable.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been that unreliable. Like he's 3 in his last 5, and he's only lost to Khamzat Chimaev and DDP, which you'd expect him to lose to. But all other 3 he's won. So yeah.
Also, part of why I'm leaning towards RDR is there's other matchups that I favor him in and that I want to see him fight. Like I want to see him versus Khamzat. I want to see him versus DDP. I want to see him against the top guys. Even if he wins here, Sean Strickland's permanently suspended or whatever. Book him to fight Israel Adesanya. See if Israel Adesanya could not get taken down, could not do these things. And then we're building up RDR. He beats Robert Whittaker. He beats Israel Adesanya. He fights for a championship. He wins. That's a hell of a story. He's beginning to create his own legacy, which is really cool to see. I'm going to pick RDR here. I like his trajectory. I like the win streak that he's on. And I think he could get the finish done. It's 5 rounds. Like Robert Whittaker is really good within those first few rounds, but RDR is he's kind of weird the way he strikes too. It's a little sluggish. I know Robert Whittaker is a lot faster. Yeah. But I don't know. I think something could catch Rob. I think something could put him down. I think RDR could land on top, and I think he could put in a Darce choke or something like that. That's my prediction.
Nice. Yeah. And I like what you said. Like there's definitely like, and this is just kind of shitty for Whittaker, but we've just seen him do it before. We've seen him fight these top guys in the middleweight division. We've seen him beat a lot of them. We've seen him lose to some. But it definitely, like, RDR winning makes the division more exciting. It's a new guy jumping into the top 10 who can shake it up a little bit. You know, there isn't a lot of these guys are heavy hitters, really good on their feet in this division. No big submission threats in the top 10 besides, well, I guess there's a couple, but like with Anthony Hernandez, Brendan Allen. But toss another in the mix, see what happens.
Ooh, I like that Brendan Allen matchup even for Reinier de Ridder after this one. But I think that's even lower ranked than Robert Whittaker right now. So I see him fighting up against like Israel Adesanya. I even like Costa next for him. That could be cool. And then the winner of that fights like Khamzat if he loses to DDP. That could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, having a 4-0 fighter from another promotion, that's great.
Yeah.
Bad for the UFC, great for RDR. Prove the haters wrong.
Yeah, he's proven me wrong every single time. So I'm done being on that side of the story. And if it happens here with Robert Whittaker, okay, I'm happy for Rob. He did it.
Exactly.
Good shit. But I'm gonna be betting, if I bet, Reinier de Ridder.
100%. Well, that's been Insider Betting. We go live every single Thursday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Cody Talks IF. He goes live every Saturday. He's going to do a little Saturday watch party. Earlier fights this week. We got, I think you mentioned the prelim start at 11 p.m. So the main card's probably like 2 p.m. I think that's in Central Time. So watch out for that. But hey, you got Saturday night freed up. Do whatever the fuck you want. But exactly. We'll be back next week. And it's been a pleasure.
Insider Picks goes live in 20 minutes. If you want to see Mike Owens, our reporter's take on this main event, live on Inside Fighting YouTube as well.
Yes, sir. I always forget to shout out Mike Owens, but Mike Owens, he probably does the most interviews out of any UFC reporter right now. We're doing like 20 to 30 UFC interviews per month. So yeah, if you want to see our top guy talking to all these top fighters, break down this card.
He be interviewing the interviewers, the best interviewers in the game, like Luke Thomas. So like he is literally at the top of his game right now. So definitely go check out his prediction on this one. I think he had Max Holloway last week as well. So he is pretty sharp on his picks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyways, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see y'all next week.
Take care, guys.